Okay, that applause was for you to wake up. Next, an applause for every single BBA MBA student who's actually here today. We heard about your parents, we've heard about the faculty, we've heard about every single person but you. So can I have a round of applause for every single student who's taken their guts here? Okay, so I have been asked to stick to my script. I'm usually a very controversial speaker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to my script today, okay? And I apologize if it's a little boring, but I'm not here to give you a speech. You're all sitting here today wondering what lies ahead, right? I was exactly in the same space, same place 35 years ago, wondering what my path was going to be. A lot of you are nervous. Some of you have questions in your mind, and a lot of you are thinking, am I going to be successful? What is my path ahead? Now, I'm here to tell you something which no other chief guest is ever going to tell you, okay? I'm not here for a speech. I'm here to give you a decision, and I want you to make that decision today. Sorry. These are 3 sentences which I want you to take from me today, which will help you overcome any boardroom, any exam, any promotion you'll ever get, and every job you will come across in your life. The first most important one is carve your path. If you do not carve your path, you're hollow. Number 2, stay on your path. You've got to absolutely know where you are headed. And the third most important part, no matter what happens. And what does that mean? Because life will push you, people will doubt you, businesses will test you, your friends will no longer be your friends, the market will change under your feet, economies will change, but there's one true thing that will remain with you, your North Star. And you've got to remember that. You've got to take that with you. Now, most of you may not know, I was actually born and raised in Chennai. Was not the brightest student, maybe, but I did well for myself. I built 2 successful businesses by the time I was 29. But what most people have done is they would have retired. I didn't retire. I could have retired when I was 29. But what for me was very important was, what was my next big thing I was going to do? I heard the lady just say 500 companies. I've invested in over 1,000 companies. I have little over 500 companies over the last 18 years. I have lived and worked in over 25 countries, and I have actually been to about 105 different countries. I speak 13 different languages. Why? Because I wanted to know. It was the hunger inside me. That was very important for me. Every morning I wake up, I want to learn. Even today, when I wake up at 3:30 a.m. every single day, no matter what the jurisdiction, no matter which country it is, okay? I make sure that I travel 300 days a year. I meet with presidents, I meet with prime ministers, I meet with dictators. But what I've understood is that I am hungry. What does that mean? I know technology, I know businesses, I wanted to learn legal frameworks, I wanted to learn global economies, I wanted to learn economics, things I didn't learn before, human resources, administration, how to do the basics. Forget trying to program using your ChatGPT. Try going and getting a cup of coffee. You will understand how difficult that is, okay? And finally, when you want to learn, you've got to learn during those tough times, not when life is easy. Everybody can learn when life is easy. But when the times turn tough, that is when you actually have to put your best foot forward. Now, we run funds, and I talked to you about running our funds. We've returned more than 3.5x cash, actual cash to our investors. But for me, it was not about the path I stayed on. It was the path I stuck to and made sure that it was not being ripped apart by people around me at any given point of time. Now, when I took over Gorilla Technology, we had 3 different products. We were an Edge AI specialist. That was great. But how did I take this from a 3-product company to a global company with 90 products in under 2 years. For me, it was very important. It was the one throat to choke promise. When I say one throat to choke, which means I am the face of the customer, we deliver everything they need from start to finish, and we take full responsibility for the outcome. Now, what makes Gorilla different? We're not just selling technology. We are selling national digital infrastructure. Now, for those who do not understand what that means, we're creating systems to keep cities safe, countries safe, making businesses smarter, securing nations against cyber threats. We actually manage one half of the entire cybersecurity network for a country which is being attacked almost 30,000 times every minute, every day. And finally, more importantly, we secure the future for these smart cities. And this is quite important. Why? Because that allowed me to build on my core strengths. What was my core strength? Video analytics and big data. When I look at it, whether it's AI-powered safety, whether it's surveillance, decision-making tools, I had to make sure I invested both in my product and my people. Second, infrastructure and IoT. When you talk about smart cities, energy, smart transportation, and smart citizen, what we are looking at is how do you create that infrastructure that is sustainable for the future. We all talked about data centers. Everybody knows what data centers are. We're investing in about 20 plus data centers today. We're building 4 in Egypt. We're going to be building 9 in the Amazonian region, and I'll tell you a little more about it. But more importantly, it is about how we can help sustainable growth. And that brings me to the project which we are currently working on, the One Amazon project. For those who have not understood what One Amazon project is, I would encourage you to go and read about it. It is very important because this is the world's largest deployment of internet sensors. We're using monitoring, protection of the Amazonian rainforest, but more importantly, we're also creating a historic tokenization strategy where we're actually turning economic value into real value, which means we are calling it the nature capital. This is something unique which nobody else has ever tried or tested before. Again, I love to push boundaries, and this has been well received by the market. This is a way to preserve, protect, and grow our planet's resources. But more importantly, we're creating a new economic model. For me, the scale is breathtaking, the technology is unparalleled, but more importantly, it allows me to focus on the 3 core pillars. Productization. For me, productization always stands absolutely. We have Zoho here, who's actually built the product over the last 25 years. We're actually implementing the solution, by the way. It's as good as that. Everything you want is available on your fingertips today. Every single one of you could be a billionaire. You could run your own company. You could become successful. Or, more importantly, you could change the world. We talked about sustainability, right? But only if you draw a line in the sand. Remember this, no compromise. This is important because you don't compromise on your values. You don't compromise on your ethics. You don't compromise on your integrity. You don't compromise on your self-respect. You don't compromise on learning. You don't compromise on humility. And more importantly, you do not compromise on making money. Make it well, make it with honor, spend it wisely, but more importantly, I want you to not chase it without objective. Finally, from today, I want you, every one of you, to wake up in the morning and ask one simple question. Am I compromising? And that question is very important. Am I compromising? If the answer is yes, maybe that point of time you'll remember me and you already know what the answer is. So now, each and every one of you, go carve your path, stay on your path, and never ever compromise. Good luck.